There's been a lot of confusion about what's involved in deploying AI successfully inside the contact center and for your CX. So I think that people, not everybody, but some people had the hope after first trying ChatGPT that somehow the AI would just handle queries automatically, kind of automagically. And it turns out that actually there's still a lot of work to do to handle all the queries that come into your contact center, even when you're using the most modern of large language models and AI capabilities. I just wanted to explain like why is that? It might be obvious to some people, but a lot of people actually are really surprised about it. So the reason is very simple: is that an LLM can take some inputs and it can very amazingly can generate outputs that are appropriate for those inputs based on the text data that it has absorbed. But what it cannot do is it cannot replace your business logic or the specific things that are important in your domain of application. So the answers that must be given that are binary, like whether something is possible or not within one of the contracts that you sell, is not something that you can interpret as being 95% confident that you're right or wrong. You have to, the system must say accurately whether it is or is not possible. So these things, all of these things cannot really be handed over to the large language model to deal with. On top of that, large language models are not particularly good at long-term context. So if you have a dialogue that goes over many turns, then dialogue turns means one person speaks and then the other person speaks. Then over time, you can't necessarily expect the LLM to maintain a perfect context. It's got nothing to do with the amount of memory it has or anything like that. It's actually that it can't necessarily deduce like use logic to deduce what it can and cannot say now based on what it said 3, 4, 5, 7 dialogue turns ago. If you combine those things together, plus the risks that the LLM is wrong some of the time, then if you use an LLM, then you also have to, like let's say the LLM is over here on this side doing its thing, you also need to do on this side pretty substantial dialogue management, business logic, and control components that provide the framework for the LLM to do what it needs to do. And that means that the old-fashioned work done by human designers to create the right kinds of dialogues that you want to have and the right business logic, that still needs to be done. And to some extent, you might even have to do more of it because the new capability spurs you on to try things that you would never have tried before, increasing the complexity of those other components. Now, this is not a reason not to do it. In fact, with the kind of pressures that we're under at the moment and the new AI capabilities that we have, really most of us don't have a choice. I mean, most businesses need to move forward and figure out how to automate vast amounts of the routine queries that they're getting. I think that's essential from a business point of view. The landscape around us is changing dramatically. But we should go into it with our eyes open and know, yeah, it's going to be somewhat of a challenge and it's going to bring new challenges to your organization. But that's what everybody is working on. And I think we will master those challenges. And that's what I love to talk to all of our partners and customers about.